All right. Good evening, viewers and listeners, as well as our guests on Zoom. Thank you for joining. Of course, I want to appreciate those that are joining us via YouTube. It's a pleasure to have you giving us your attention at this point in time. I'm your host, Mr. Akko Christian Oche, otherwise known as Due Process. It's my pleasure to have all of you being part of tonight's program. And tonight we're dissecting socio-political issues, as you're aware of, to be able to have a discourse around our national issues that borders on the welfareism of our people, as well as the socio-political climates across the country. So welcome, and we will throw open the line as soon as we get to the participatory stage. For now, let me read out some of the headlines. Number one, we have Senate rejects electronic transmission of results. The Senate, led by Senator Godswill Akpabio, has thrown out the much anticipated electoral reform that aimed to bring about sanity come 2027 has been squashed. The hope of the people has been squashed by throwing out the very essence of the electoral reform, which is transmission of results in real time. We'll be having a conversation around that. And of course, number two on the item is our COPDEM advocates for Occupy National Assembly. For so long, the Nigerian government have not had the taste of citizen resistance. And that's why they could just wake up and carry out whatever it is they want to do, knowing fully well that the Nigerian people are docile. But we are looking forward to a situation whereby the Nigerians that are yearning and complaining about the actions of the National Assembly will come out in full to occupy the National Assembly. We'll be having further deliberation and discussion around that as we move to Senator Oshomole, who was seen and captured on private jets as he was romancing a white woman on board. It tells you how the Nigerian politicians are so disconnected from the reality of the Nigerian people. A situation where a sitting senator will have to carry out such immoral acts and being recorded, that tells you they understand that people, of course, are docile. And that is where we come in as civil society organization, advocate of good governance, to be able to wake the consciousness, the subconsciousness of the people that, hey, we have a country to save. And should you continue with the docility and a care attitude, there's nothing that's going to change in the nearest possible future. Even if APC is given the next 1,000 years, nothing is going to change until they are resisted and will activate a new government that will chart a new direction for the people. So CVR exercise, continual voters registration has been on, and citizens are encouraged to go out there and register, except those within the Federal Capital Territory who want to register within the Federal Capital Territory are those who will not be able to participate in the ongoing CVR. That is the continuous voters registration due to the upcoming elections in the FCT. You understand there's an ongoing preparations by all political parties ahead of the 21st February FCT Area Council elections. And in this light, the INEC has shot a server against FCT registration for voters card until the election is concluded. But as per all other parts of the country across the 36 states, you are free to register ahead for your voters card. There's a saying, some allusion that vote doesn't count. That is the most docile statement that in the lips of Nigerians. When you conclude that votes don't count, ask yourself, why should politicians risk their lives, visit communities, trenches, in attempt to woo you to gain your votes? If really votes doesn't count, why should politicians waste their funds mounting billboards, right? Taking all the risk and coming out begging you for votes. If votes doesn't count, why should they even buy votes? It shows that votes actually count in its real sense. And I'm going to explain to you further how votes actually count. In an election where the people take it as a personal project, such votes actually count. Let's take a ride back in history. During Abiola's election, even though under military, you could see that Abiola eventually won the election. Why? Because the people came out en masse to vote. So when there are limited voters, of course, it makes it easy for these groups to buy votes and manipulate elections. I can remember vividly during 2015 general election, you all will agree with me that of course that election counts. The votes of the people actually counts. Although the people were deceived without necessarily putting into cognizance the age factor of warriors at 1984, where he's been referenced for having performed. We also failed to take cognizance of the effect of his second in command, right? That was up and doing. And institutionalizing this act of discipline. So we just took it as his Buhari's administration. And it was on that note that he was given that vote. So votes counted in 2015. Accepted there may be some level of compromises here and there, but the will of the people actually manifested in 2015. I'm using this to give us an instances that elections, if supported and advocated for by the people, and the people actually stand their ground to ensure that votes count, there is no Jupiter on earth. There is no any human born of a woman that can manipulate such votes. In the current time, you can see clearly what happened in Abia State, right? The woman stood her ground, and the people of Abia State as well stood their ground, ensuring that their votes count. At the end of the day, did APC win Abia State? The answer is no. Taking another further ride to Lagos State, where is the seat of power according to the thinking of Tinubu, who felt that he built Lagos State. At the end of the day, he eventually lost Lagos State. He lost woefully. As a matter of fact, the votes that was recorded for Tinubu was even padded. So these are some of the things we need to look at, right? Without ₦1, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, without spending or buying vote from any individual, INEC reported that he won 12 states. You know what that means in Nigerian government, in Nigerian election? Guys, don't give up. This is not a time to give up. In short, giving up is not even an option, because whether you participate in this or not, it doesn't stop Nigeria from happening to us at different times and different events. Look at what happened to Somi. While we're still not seeing the pain of Somi avoidable deaths, if Funaya happened, yet another avoidable death, all in the Federal Capital Territory. 3 snake bites. Visiting the hospital, there is no anti-rabies to be able to treat and offer first aid. Rather, she moved from hospital to hospital, none had anti-rabies to be able to treat the snake bites. At the end of the day, she gave up the ghost. So who knows who could be next? While we're still talking about that, there are over 170 human beings, not rats, that were killed in Kwara State. The Nigerian government looked away as if nothing happened. And everybody is going about their normal businesses. This docility has to stop. We are now organizing Occupying his advice to be part of it. We have no any other country to say. We have just one, which is Nigeria. Take it or leave it. Nigeria is a beautiful country. We are in position of power. And how do they gain power? They gain power by fraudulent means, because the people have isolated themselves from governance. The people have isolated themselves from politics. The people have avoided voting. Take a sample from your family. How many of you have PVC? How many have PVC? And how many actually voted? And how many are willing to vote again? You may have excuses that 2023 did not count and all that. Yes, if it didn't count, Tinubu will not be G3. Tinubu is aware of who won the election. So all that is needed is for us to organize and get strategic. We'll go again in 2027. So everyone is encouraged to be part of it and get involved. While discussing this, Senator Minodi Usman has been acknowledged as the authentic leader, the authentic chairman of the Labour Party. As a matter of fact, her profile was uploaded on INEC website, and she was able to attend the quarterly meetings of all political parties in INEC headquarters, Abuja. So that is a positive development, and we pray that the courts and INEC will allow opposition to have their peace once and for all. Everybody must not belong to APC. One-party system is the most impossible mission any individual will have. How can you dream of one-party system in a multicultural setting like Nigeria? It is impossible, and we continue to stand in the opposition to ensure that we get it right. Also, terrorists killed over 170 persons in Kwara State. What is the Nigerian government doing about it? Has the president visited? The answer is no. Has the vice president visited? The answer is no. Has the Senate president visited? The answer, of course, is no. Have they even made a press conference about it? The answer is no. This is the kind of silence that the APC government has normalized. They have normalized it. It happened in Yelwata, where over 200 children and women were burnt alive. To date, no one has been arrested or prosecuted successfully. Rather, we have some team of individuals, the government is pretending, trying to show that they are doing something. Guys who are facing genocide and cannot afford to keep quiet at this point. It is on this note I want to throw open the mic so that we can have our contribution on the various subject matter. We have the situation of the National Assembly. While the people are rejecting the outcome of the electoral reform by the National Assembly, some team of senators have put themselves together to reject the passing of the electoral reform. Notably among them are Senator Inei, who has rejected the outcome in the press conference, alongside Senator Inei Abaribe, right? Senator Ireti Kingibe of the FCT, and notable others were seen in a video where they were addressing the press, rejecting the passage of the electoral reform. So it is time for us to mount the pressure, get involved, get prepared to occupy the National Assembly. We don't understand the use of the National Assembly. They collect all forms of bogus allowances without making impact, right? So on this note, I'm glad to have you being part of the program, People's Parliament. It is your parliament, it is our parliament, to ensure that we're able to have a meaningful discussion in the program. If your hand is up, please feel free to unmute and speak.
Thank you. This is Ken Agulu from Washington, D.C. Respectfully, I thought the purpose of this meeting is to mobilize people, talk about mobilizing people, because it is a dark day in Nigeria. Why is it a dark day? We have 26% of people that voted in 2023, and do you think people will waste their time, energy, to go and struggle and get PVC and they be under the sun and rain to vote, where you know their vote will not count? So my question is, where are the opposition? Where are they? The House of Rep is saying that they want to tinker what they've already done to align with what they have in the Senate. The shocking thing, revelation, what Yinda Baribe said, that the version they had is not what Akpabio is saying. This also happened in the tax law. So where are the opposition? And nobody gonna waste his or her time to go and vote for anybody. If they don't, look, freedom is not free. I am in America today. My children are here enjoying the struggle of the early 60s of civil rights movement. People died, people get injured, people were all kind of stuff, and they fought for it. And our children are enjoying it today. And those motherfuckers, their children are here enjoying it. And they don't care about the future of Nigeria. Where are the youths of Nigeria? Their future are being mortgaged. And they're all in TikTok, they're all in Facebook, they're all in YouTube talking bullshit. And their future is being mortgaged. So I thought respectfully that what you're going to tell us today is how to mobilize and occupy the National Assembly. The power belongs to the people. It belongs to the people. This country is messed up and continue to mess up. We are going to one-party system and they don't care. We are the people. They can destroy this country for generations to come. Every other African country, every other country, look at Canada, everybody moving. We watched Ghana election. Clear, free, fair. We watched South African election. Clear, free, fair. And we're going backwards upon all the money injected in this. And we are using back transaction every day and no complaint. It is a sad day. So I don't know. I thought you were talking about mobilizing people and occupying the National Assembly. That's what I thought. But I hear.
Thank you, Mr. Ken. Of course, like I said, COPDEM advocates occupy National Assembly. Yes, we are already mobilizing to ensure that we create the awareness and carry stakeholders along to be part of this. It's a collaborative effort to ensure that all major actors, as well as the grassroots, are part of this, and it starts with information. The decision has been reached to carry out the mass sensitization in this regard. And of course, I'll be glad that you are part of this.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Yes, please, before you go on, Mr. Ken, can you confirm?
Confirm what?
Yes, I say we already have arrangement ongoing in respect to this, which of course is coming up by next week. And I will be glad that you are part of this.
You're talking about next week, they're going into harmonization. You're talking about next week. Next week, he'll be gone. Okay? These people are trying to give this to Tinubu by Friday, tomorrow. I want you to understand what is happening. So by next week, is crying over a spoiled milk. And it's final. They know exactly what they're doing. So you're talking about next week. What is next week? I mean today. That's what I meant. Next week for what? What is next week? Atiku is over there at lesser age. Nobody's talking. Nobody. Nobody's talking. And our generation will be useless. Look at Nigerian youths, women, everybody. Just in this country. And we are watching. In our generation, if we have failed, we want our children need to fail. And that's the foundation. And our children will be the PA of the children of this politician. And that's exactly what they're doing. And we're waiting for next week. What is next week? It's done by next week. So that's I thought we are planning tomorrow to march. That's what I thought. People on the ground waiting. Where's the opposition? They are ready. And you want me to spend money to take my people, go over there and vote under the sun and rain? No way. They're not going to do that. Everybody's going to stay at home, whatever happens, happen. That's what I'm saying. So next week is too late. Pure and simple. Thank you.
Thank you. Of course, before the end of the program, I would still like to have your contact so that we can advance the discussion beyond the public forum. How does
All right, I'm on. You can see this. I'm on in your email, so you can everything is in there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So more contributions, please. Like you said, we already read out the topics. It's just a tradition to read out the current trending stories across the country while we focus on the discussion of the day. The discussion of the day basically is about the outcome of the electoral reform, which has not sit well with the majority of Nigerians. And of course, we are advocating for Occupy National Assembly. Let us know if you'll be part of it, as we'll make adequate preparation for this.
Yeah, good evening,
Please
everybody.
Unmute and speak.
Yeah.
Go on, please.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening. Standing on the existing protocol. All right. My name is Comrade Ayeni Paul from Cross River State. I want to sincerely thank you as the coordinator of today's People's Parliament Forum and the discussion so far. I equally want to thank Comrade Kane, who has poured in a lot concerning what some of us we feel. For me, it is a very worrying situation when the Senate, after a long push concerning this electronic transmission of results, the Senate can outrightly say that they reject it. Therefore means that there is no possibility that vote count will take place 2027. And so the next action in line, it should be the occupying the National Assembly immediately. That is my own submission, that the National Assembly should be occupied. We cannot say that if the electronic transmission of result is not carried out and you expect to have credible and fair election. It's not possible. The handwriting is clear that the ruling party wants to hijack this election. They want to manipulate the system. I know that in Nigeria Electoral Reform Coalition, that is NAFO, we push this advocacy for good governance to far extent and meet with the certain persons involved of the Electoral Reform Amendment Bill, and they promise that they are going to look into it. But today, what we have, we see that all our effort has been thwarted. So if we don't arrest this system, if we don't stop this process, there is no way, I think, there is no way Nigeria, we are going to have a new Nigeria that is possible. There is no way we are going to have transparent, accountable leadership in Nigeria. It all falls back to us. Some of us, we are ready, 100% ready for this race. We can do everything possible to make sure that we have a credible, transparent election and have the right kind of leadership that we want, that Nigeria can work for all of us. I'm not happy with what we heard today. I'm not supporting anything. So my opinion and my stance is that we must do everything possible to make sure that we arrest this system. This bill that was passed today does not come to play. So for me, we must occupy National Assembly and to bring in other persons. And secondly, if oppositions are ready to grab power, if are ready to push this movement, they should come out and speak. What are the ADC doing? What are other opposition doing? We cannot just keep quiet and then allow these people bring up policies that will continue to cripple the development and transparencies in the Nigeria economy. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. More contributions, please, on Occupy National Assembly. Do you have more contribution before we reverse back to in-house and continue the work? Whose hand is up? Mr. Paul, is it your old hand? If it is, can you step it down? Okay, on this note, that is all we can take for tonight's program. Like we have rightly advocated, a new Nigeria is non-negotiable, and transmission of results in real time is non-negotiable. That is the basis, that's the fulcrum towards having transparent elections. Ghana did it, South Africa has been doing it. There is nothing wrong why Nigeria cannot do it. These shenanigans has to stop, and all Nigerians are advised, please come out in mass and be part of this. We have to take over the National Assembly. All members of the public are encouraged to be part of it. We are going to release very short notice. So please prepare to be part of it as we advocate and prepare for Occupy National Assembly. The National Assembly, come to think about it, they've been receiving bogus allowances, hardship allowance, wardrobe allowance, very, unthinkable title of allowances. How justified the same National Assembly that Tinubu wasted 160 million naira of taxpayers' money to get exotic SUVs for each of them? You multiply it by 360, and you can imagine the figure of what Tinubu has expended on the National Assembly. That's part of the reason why. The National Assembly has been rubber stamp for Tinubu all along. They have no reason to disagree with him. They just yes sir, and all that. So, but the people that are the receiving end, it is now our turn to rise and challenge the status quo. We have to disagree with them. We have to ensure that we raise our voices. Protest is a fundamental human right, no doubt about it, irrespective of the madness of the Tinubu-led administration. Of course, the APC, they have always been very critical against protesters. I will never back down. As a matter of fact, when some of us understand the rigors of the stress of fighting for freedom, like Mr. Ken has rightly pointed out earlier, the civil rights movement, they went through so much difficult terrain to achieve freedom for the United States of America. So freedom is not cheap. We all have to be ready to fight for it. We have to be ready to take the front line and take the bullets. Yes, we have to be ready for it. For whatsoever come our way, freedom is something that we have continued to stand for and will not back down at this point, because a new Nigeria is indeed worth fighting for, and we will continue to maintain this line of standing against bad government. There is nothing that is justified why there should be no electronic transmission of results. Why should it be manually transported rather, by polling officers? A lot of things happen along this chain. A lot of manipulation take place. Votes are being changed manually. You could see in the outcome of the election where some very funny pictures were uploaded on the IRF just to be able to, scale through that process of submission. So all submissions must take place for the polling unit. That's the only way to avert anarchy, because APC as it is now, they don't even have the number. So we're only advocating for electoral reform in order to be able to avoid the very obvious and imminent anarchy that awaits all of us come 2027. We're only telling them to do the right thing. Let there be electronic transmission of results to reduce and eliminate all forms of confusion at the collation center. And the miracles that are taking place at the collation center have to be eliminated, and all forms of courts, endless court cases have to be eliminated. 2027, we have no energy for any courts. We are not going to court. All elections must be won at the polling units. Yes. And the world will be aware of what is happening in the polling unit. And as part of the reason why COPDEM has come up with the innovation of an independent area, but otherwise known as the VoteGuard app. The VoteGuard app is up and running, and of course, we are hopeful of using it in this FCT area council election to be able to transmit results in real time. So we're always ahead of them in every aspect of the movement. They cannot be ahead of us because we understand what it takes to stop criminals like the APC. So, Mr. Ken, thank you for joining, and thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Mrs. Eunice. Thank you all who have been part of this program. By tomorrow, we'll be releasing a permanent link for this program, such that with or without you seeing the link, you can just use the existing link to join the program. I hope that sounds good. So this is where we draw the curtain for tonight. In the absence of further contribution, I want to sincerely appreciate you for dedicating your time and being part of the program. Thank you. God bless you all. So if you want to be part of the Occupy National Assembly, please drop your contact. Drop your contact on the chat box. I will reach out to you and let you know the next line of action. Thank you and bye-bye. Okay, let me see your contacts.
You can see my contact, right? I left it for you. Check in the chat. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Keep me posted. Thank you.
Thank you. I've taken the contacts. Who else want to be part of it? We have a platform in place. Okay, God's power, I've seen your contacts. I've picked it up. You will be contacted. Do we have more? Feel free to drop your contacts. Okay, thank you, Eunice. Thank you, Gajere. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Grace, and good night. Thank you, Reverend, and good night.